Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Romero. It's another week, another edition, the SPO Ballers League Week in Review. And we're here in the SPO Championship studio. And let's go over a few things. We're going to start off today with the overall standings. 2.0 is 4-0. If you remember the newspaper, the clever headline said 2.4 and 0, right? Okay, go ahead, add in the laugh track. That's good stuff right there. Version 3, 2-2, 1-1 this week. A huge battle with 2.0, and it was an incredible game. Ryan Wolf scored a lot of points. Joe Brown was his normal, energetic self, but the unnamed baller came up big in the fourth quarter, 7 points to close out the game, and 2.0 won by 5 points. Amazing game. Looking forward to seeing that rematch later on the season and maybe a playoff preview. So another thing, rookie Corey Van Oos, he came up big. He started off strong. And I think 2.0 may have underestimated him a little bit because he came in there in the second quarter when usually 2.0 has the advantage, and he kind of stole that advantage. Some other folks played some tough defense. Mr. Lathy was involved. They had a good strategy going in, but in the end, the energy of Joe Brown, the late game heroics of the unnamed baller came up. Let's go. Fast Attack, 1-3 this week. 0-2. I'm sorry, 1-3 overall. 0-2 this week. Had a rough week. They looked to put it back together. I thought they played really well on Monday. On Wednesday, things kind of came unraveled a little bit. Next Gen picks up, they're off the schneid, picks up their first win of the season, a great game, back and forth, and end up, they're 1-1 this week and 1-3 overall. So we have a new segment. It's called the Over and Underachievers, right? Now, the way this is figured is based on your week. This current week, relative to your overall production, did you have a better than normal week or did you have a worse than normal week? So we have a top 3 overachievers and a top 3 underachievers. This week, the top 3 overachievers. First, rookie Corey Van Oos, who I mentioned earlier, had the highest rating of overachievers. Dominic Howe, another overachiever, meaning he had a better week this way than his overall average. Seth Cornett and Jules Williams tied for the third spot in this week's overachievers. Now, you have overachievers, you have underachievers, so we got to point these guys up. Guys that came up a little short of their season averages. William Haywood, the top underachiever this week. Ronnie Wyatt. Now, he has some circumstances. He switched teams and a little bit different system, but he was another underachiever. And Jacob Chambers having a very good season, but this week he was a little bit slightly under his average. He had a great first week. The second week was still pretty good, but still managed to put him in the top 3. So we got to talk real quick about the rookie of the season, okay? We have 5 newcomers to the league, and let's talk about this rookie of the season. And we're also going to get RJ in here a little bit later in the show, and we're going to get his opinion on the rookie of the season. So the 5 rookies: Corey Van Oos, Ronald Tuck, Nathan Harold, Ronnie Wyatt, and Jules Williams. There's your 5 rookies. Let's talk about them and see who's the front runners for that Rookie of the Season award. All right. All right, so let's talk about our top scorers from Game 3. That's on Monday. Ryan Wolf, 47 points. Joe Brown, 26 points. Isaiah Barnes with 23. William Haywood with 22. And the unnamed baller, he also had 22 points. Now let's move on to Wednesday's games, and let's see our top scorers for Wednesday's game. Ryan Wolf, again, at the top of the scoring ledger, 41 points against 2.0. Joe Brown comes up big with 32 points. The unknown baller, the unnamed baller, 28 points. Corey Van Oos, 23, and Jacob Chambers with 16. And now let's take a look at our season top 5 scores so far in average. Again, at the top, Ryan Wolf, Joe Brown, the unnamed baller, Isaiah Barnes. So that's 3 2.0 players in the top 5 scores. Number 5 coming in with 21 points a game. That's William Haywood. And I'll just give you a couple of other people outside the top 5: Jacob Chambers, Corey Van Oos, Ronald Tuck, Dalton Zorns, Dominic Howe. So these are the folks that are in double digits in average scoring. So Ryan Wolf at 44 average, 44.3. Joe Brown, 30.7. The unnamed baller, 25.3. Isaiah Barnes with 20 even. And William Haywood, 21.3. Looks like we actually have that one a little bit backwards. So that makes William Haywood the 4th spot and Isaiah Barnes in the 5th spot. Anyway, there you go. There is the week in review of the SPO Ballers League. Now we know all the information. We're going to bring in here in a second. We're going to bring in RJ, and we're going to get his opinion on some of these things going on, the scorers, the league itself, the players, maybe even that rookie contest or rookie race that we have going to see who's going to end up with the rookie of the season, because he is also a rookie in the league. So anyway, we'll come back with that in a minute. All right, as promised, I got Ronald Tuck here with me in studio, in here in the SPO Championship Studio. Welcome to the Championship Studio, Ronald.
Thank
you. I hope you have more to share with me than that. But anyway, I'm gonna start off. We have 5 rookies in our league this season, and one of them is going to end up being the rookie of the season, and you're one of them. So let's talk about this. We got Corey Van Oos, Ronald Tuck, Nathan Harold, Ronnie Wyatt, Jules Williams. Aside from yourself, give me 1, maybe 2 names of people who are impressing you so far.
Corey Van Oos is impressing, and Ronnie, from the game I first seen to the game when he played us, he's impressed me too.
I agree with you. I think Van Oos was another one, because he usually in the 2.0 games, we have an advantage in the second quarter. But he took me to the woodshed in the second quarter, and so I thought that was an interesting dynamic. Now, I think I have to be more prepared for him. The other guy, and you said exactly what I would say, is Ronald Wyatt. He when I first saw him, I'm like, okay, he's big, but the last game he started showing a little bit more.
Yeah, when he got me a couple of times in that game, I was like, oh, hold on, because when he got the rebound over me, I was like, oh, I got to jump with him. But then when he started scoring, like once he get on the roll, he really got it.
So one of the things is you don't have a lot of big guys in our league. So, and he's a big body. And so if you get to the point where you find somebody with a big body that can come in and actually play and score, it's going to be hard to stop. All right, so now we're going to talk about average scoring, leading scorers in the league, and what we have at the top, the 2 most obvious people, Joe Brown, Ryan Wolf. Ryan averaging 44.3 and Joe Brown 30.7, and you're talking about almost 14 points difference, but you wouldn't think that, would you?
No, because with Ryan, we know he shoots threes most of the time. And then with Joe, he's just everywhere on the court, so it looked like he's scoring more than what he's actually scoring, because most of his points come in either in the paint or mid-range.
That's true, and another thing that it affects the way you think about him, but what makes him more effective is his rebounding. So while he might be 10 points, or actually in this particular situation, 14 points less in scoring, he has to lead, and we don't keep the stats very well for rebounding, but he has to lead the league in rebounding, and that's what kills you, is the second shot opportunities.
Yeah, like I know last week when I was watching the game, I think he had almost a double-double in the first quarter, so I was like, whoa.
It's hard. I mean, he's just so hard to stop. I mean, he's just so much energy. But what I noticed in the big game versus V3, he ran out of gas in the fourth quarter, and I mean, rightfully so. He exerts so much energy, but I was surprised to see that in the fourth quarter he might have to maybe spread that energy out a little bit. It's hard to say that because without Joe, the 2.0 wouldn't have been in the position to win the game because he brought them back. I mean, it was a tight game all the way through the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that game was really the exciter for my game because when I seen Joe and Ryan kept going back and forth with the scores, I was like, okay, okay. And then when Ryan and Joe went out the second quarter, the unnamed baller kept them in the game, but then it started going off because the rookie Corey Van Hoos.
Yeah, that was a good battle, the unnamed baller versus the rook. So, all right, so let's keep going down here. You got the unnamed baller in third spot with 25.3 average. Uh, uh, that's what they say. That's what they're saying. That's the word. William Haywood, 21.3, and then Isaiah Barnes with 20 even. So that means 3 of the top 5 scorers on 2.0. Now, they are scoring more points than everybody else, but it's also the way they play ball.
Yeah, I can see with 2.0, they move the ball in ways that other teams are not moving the ball as effectively as they are. So with Barnes, he's a shocker to almost everybody. But once 2.0 really moves the ball and gets their team in there, they really start scoring.
Absolutely. I see it too. So, anyway, I think that's about all. Anything left about, let's say, uh, next gen or free agent 4 that you'd like to throw in some thoughts about them?
With free agent, we I'm saying we because I'm on free agent. We really have to move the ball more effectively and take smarter shots and stop throwing up threes when it's a tight game. And with next gen, they pushed me to the test Wednesday. Yeah, they pushed me to the test Wednesday, and rightfully between Chambers and Nick, they made me they made me had to work for it.
Well, Nick is the X factor because Nick can't always show up. So when he does, they're a different team. You know what I'm saying? When he's not there, different team. So anyway, I'm here with RJ. It's Mr. Romero, and I think that's all the show we have for you next week. So tune in every week as we do the SPO Baller League review. Talk to you next week.